never seen one of our people play an instrument, and the boy had played the piano like he had been doing it his whole life. Maybe music is allowed where he's from. I knew he wasn't from Montgomery. But when the boy asked if I was going to tell on him, then I knew music must not be allowed where he lived either. I told him I wouldn't tell, and I won't. He's the cutest boy I've ever seen. He has blonde hair and pretty eyes. He told me his name is Levi and that he lived in Orleans. I told him my name is Mary and that I lived in Montgomery, and I asked if he wanted to be friends. He shrugged and said we lived too far away from each other. I asked if he wanted to write me a letter. My cheeks felt hot when I asked him that. He shrugged again, then said, "Yeah." I found a piece of paper on a table by the piano, and then I found a pen. I wrote down my address. It was the first time I'd given a boy my address. He asked me again if I was going to tell on him. I shook my head. My stomach felt funny, all swirly. Then he waved and left. He was gone before I even asked him where the bathroom was. But I knew I would check my mailbox every day. Chapter 1. 8 years later. Is Adeline dying? Mary Hershberger recalled her trip to the English funeral when she was 10. She'd been to plenty of funerals since then, Amish and English, but she dreaded every single one she attended. The English focused more on the life the person led while on earth. Mary's people praised God's goodness more than they reflected on the person who had passed. Both ceremonies always left her with a deep sense of sadness that she would hold on to for weeks. She'd been taught to accept all things as God's will, even death, but she struggled with that part of her faith. I don't know. God flicked the reins a couple times, picking up speed in the buggy. The fellow at the hardware store told me Adeline is having an estate sale. From the conversation, I sensed maybe she is in a bad way financially, so I will try to find things we can use. He shrugged. But I will buy things whether or not we need them. We can give to those less fortunate if need be. Mary hadn't heard her father speak of Adeline or her deceased husband, Percy, in years. But Percy must have been a very good man if her father was willing to go 20 miles to purchase things they might not even need just to help Adeline. Thankfully, it was May, and the heat of the summer wasn't upon them yet. During the middle of the summer, they had to stop at least twice for such a long trip. Mary couldn't recall a trip to Shoals since Percy Collins's funeral 8 years ago. Remember to call the woman Miss Collins. The English find it improper to call an adult by their first name, especially an elderly person. Mary fought the urge to roll her eyes, a gesture that would surely irritate her father. I know, Dad. His eyes wrinkled in the corners as he grinned. Just a reminder. Mary smiled. She was 18, old enough to get married, but her father still saw her as a little girl. They passed a sign that said, "Welcome to Shoals." Not much looked familiar as they drove down Main Street, then wound through a neighborhood before turning down a dirt lane. Rows of freshly tilled crops lined both sides of the road, corn seedlings sprouting from the dark soil. In the distance, Mary saw Adeline's house. Miss Collins, she reminded herself. As they neared the white farmhouse, memories filled the forefront of Mary's mind. She recalled the brightness of the house, the pristine yard filled with flowers, and an old blue car in the driveway. She glanced at her father's expression, the lines deepening on his forehead as he frowned. From the sight of things now, Adeline must have fallen upon hard times like her father mentioned. The formerly white house was grayer now, badly in need of fresh paint. The green grass needed mowing, and there wasn't a car in the driveway. Mary wondered if the inside of the house was the same. I should have checked on Adeline over the years. Her father winced as they neared the house. Mary remembered the fancy furniture inside, and she wondered if Adeline would be selling all of her things, or maybe just some furnishings. What Mary most remembered about that trip was the boy playing the piano. The cute Amish boy who never wrote to her like he said he would. But they were just children. She couldn't even remember his name, which seemed odd since she could recall so many other details from that day, along with the sadness that lingered in her heart for weeks after the funeral. She hadn't even known Percy Collins.